Good morning. As promised, today we're going to do a double drapery fold or double curtain fold, and this is what it's going to look like. So instead of just having, the half like we did before, this kind of fills up the whole front of the card, and I think it's very pretty. And I'm going to show you the inside of the card in a minute, but I wanted to just concentrate on the outside for the first. So I actually had this laying around for a while, and this is from tinascraftyinkspot.com. And I went to try to give you the link for this template, and I don't find it anymore. So you can try that. This is where I got it, or you can just search on Pinterest or Split Coast Stampers or something for a double curtain fold or a double drapery fold, and you should be able to come up with a template. I'm using hers just, again, when somebody's taken the time to make all of the measurements and all of that, it's just easier to do it. So, all right, so we're going to start. I'll keep this to the side. We're going to start with a piece of designer paper that's 10 by 5 3/8. Okay, so that's what this is. And again, this paper is from our new catalog. I think it's actually in the Celebration, but it's got all the beautiful roses on here, different colors. We've got purples and pinks and corals, and then the opposite side is just a more of a, not a solid color, but this one you can kind of see too. Just, it had a little bit of the coral on the inside, but I thought that these were really pretty. All right, so again, this is 10 by 5 3/8, and then we're going to score it. So we're going to score it at, let me bring this out because I'm going to need the extension. We're going to score it at 1 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 5.5, 6, 7, 7.5, 8.5, and 9. Okay, and basically what you're doing, it's very hard to see. You're doing it's an inch and then a half an inch. You can kind of see this on her diagram. So it's an inch and then a half inch, half inch, all the way across. Okay, and then you're going to take a pen or a pencil, and you're going to make marks at 4.5 and 5.5 on the long side. So that's 4.5, which should be this score line, and 5.5, which is that score line. And then I just followed that up to the other side, 4.5 and 5.5. Okay, and then on each end, on the shorter ends, it's 2 3/16 and 3 3/16. So 2 3/16 and 3 3/16. Turn it over. Actually, it's easier for me, I think, just to follow this. So they come out the same place, and that one's on this line. Okay, and then you're going to put it back in your trimmer, and you're going to make these cuts. So from the 5.5 to this side, and then from the 4.5 to that side. So I'm just lining up my little marks here in the trimmer. And there's lots of scoring with this card. I just think it's a really pretty design. And you can see a lot of them, and I'm sure everybody's got maybe a little bit different measurement. I just liked this one. And like I said, I've had it for a while. I don't even remember when. I keep a book sometimes of just like templates and stuff cut out. Okay, so then you're going to end up with something that looks like this. We'll put these aside for a little bit later. Okay, so then you can go through, and I'm going to have my roses on the front. So let me go through and make all my folds. Goes together pretty quickly. In some paper, of course, it's easier to see the folds than others. This one's pretty dark on both sides, so it wasn't as easy for me to see them. Same thing on the other side. So this is kind of why it's called a double, because you're doing, you're not starting large on one side and going down to smaller on the other side. You're doing that on both sides. I don't use the dark designer paper a lot. I'm more of a pastel and sometimes brights, but I really liked this paper. Okay, so now that's what you've got. And that's all there is to it. It's all folded. And you can see, if you'd wanted to do it on the back, you could also have, used it like this design. I really like this. Okay, so to put this on my card base, I'm missing one piece of paper. Oh, no, there it is. Like I said, I don't know with my little area here how I lose things, but I always do. All right, so on the last card, I put this directly on here. Okay, and I glued that down, and then I put a piece, actually used a piece, I found this piece of ribbon. I don't even know where I had it from. Used that and then put a black piece of cardstock over the top, to make like that on the card. But this time I thought maybe I'd go just a little bit different. And I don't know whether I want to put this on white, like this. I don't think so. Or put it on green, mossy meadow like this. Yes, that definitely is better. And I'm going to do it this way because then I want to take my ribbon this time and wrap it around and do a bow. So this will be a little bit different than the last card. Sorry if I hit the camera there. And depending on how much you want those pleats to stay down, you can put adhesive on the whole back. It doesn't, you can put it here in between the pleats, whatever you might want to do. But I want to put this just down like that. I think I'm a little to this side, but that's okay. And then I was going to take this ribbon, because I had this really pretty petal pink ribbon, and tie it around the drapery this time instead of just keeping it flat. I'm not really good at tying bows, but I can tie a knot and we can trim the ends. A lot of people will make the bow separately, and then just adhere it on, and that's good too. This ribbon is just so pretty. There we go. Okay, look how pretty that looks. Now I can just take, it's a little harder once I've got all these pleats on here to get the adhesive on, but there we go. I could have used liquid. Okay. Look how pretty that card is. Now I could, you know, do something and attach it to the front, but I think I'm going to leave the front and I'm going to just put my words on the inside on this one because I just think that looks really pretty. Okay, now on this one, I told you I'd show you the inside. I took those little pieces from here and I attached those on the inside. And I thought that made an interesting card. But on this one, I'm going to actually do the same thing, but I'm going to make a second card with it instead of doing it on the inside. You know, I hate to waste, you know, so somebody, you know, if you cut these pieces off and then somebody throws them away, I'd be like, so I'm just going to quickly fold these. Attach them so you can kind of see what I mean on this. And that way, it's like, you know, when you're making something and you're using the positive and the negative image, this is kind of the same thing. I wouldn't be able to throw those pieces away. Like I said, when we did the regular curtain fold last time, I showed a couple of different ways that you could use the pieces that you cut off because I mean, I think they still look pretty cool. This really only takes a minute. Like I said, some of these designer papers, it's easier to see the folds than others, but I just think this makes a really cool card front. Like I said, I believe this paper is in the Celebration, so if you place a $50 order, I think it's January and February, then this is one of the things that you could get for free. They also have stamp sets and other things. All right, so now, see, I'm just going to attach this to the front of the other card, and I'll put my words here. And I think that makes just as neat of a card as this does. But I just love the way this came out, the colors and everything. So, an idea is to use it on the inside of the card or make a separate card just with those pieces that you cut off from the four corners. So again, if you wanted to go to Tina Wardell's Tina's Crafty Ink Spot.com, you may be able to find her template, or you can take the measurements off of this one that I've had here. But I hope you might try the double curtain fold, and I hope you have a great day and a very happy new year.